Okay, so if you've noticed, if you've been paying attention, we've not been doing a very good job of actually posting on Vlogmas. I think I just had French fry on my face. We have been filming stuff.
Yeah.
But just with Tashina being sick and other stuff, I just haven't made it a priority to edit. Hey, look, we just hit 70,000 miles on our car.
Whoa. Good job, little car.
70,000 miles. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll hit 100,000 by the end of 2019. I doubt it. Probably not.
I don't know.
Anyway, well, we've had it for 4 years and we're only at 70,000.
Yeah.
So it'll probably take another 2 years to get to 100,000.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. We were talking about Vlogmas. Oh, right. So today I was trying to think of what we should do a video about. Because again, Tashina's still not feeling well. And originally what I was thinking was we were going to do a video about our trip to San Francisco to go to a Lush store out there because Lush got in touch with us and they asked if we wanted to go to this like influencer, I forgive you, this like influencer like holiday, kind of like holiday party at their shop, and we were both really excited to go.
I was so excited.
Yeah, but Tashina's still not feeling well, and we can't really afford for you to like literally afford, like financially we cannot afford for Tashina to continue being sick.
Yeah. And
because we need to get back to work. And so we kind of had a talk this morning in which I asked you if you thought that going tonight would mean that you would, that it would prolong your sickness, and you said yes.
Yeah. Because I think I'm right at the point where I'm about to start getting better. Like, I am getting close to getting better. But it's been a week.
Yeah.
And so, like, this has been brutal.
So we don't want to push it. Since you're, like, on the verge of starting to feel better.
Yeah.
We don't want to push it.
And I don't want to get other people sick, either. Like, this has been horrible, so I don't want to expose other content creators to it also.
I think you're past the point of being contagious, but yes, I agree, it would not be good to get other people sick, for sure.
No.
So, we were driving to the UPS store because I just got new shoes. Oh, look, I'll show you. I just got these new shoes. They're Tom's. I know it looks like they're really close to Tashina's face, but they're not. It's,
no.
See this huge long distance? Anyway, I like them. They're pretty comfy. I got them on sale because we're trying to not spend a lot of money. I think they were like $45 on sale, something like that.
I think they were less.
Like $40 shipped?
They were like, yeah, like maybe $35, $40 shipped because they were doing the Friends and Family sale. So that was like 20 or 30% off, and then you found an additional coupon code.
No. It was that I used Ebates. It was Ebates.
I freaking love Ebates.
Yeah, Ebates gave me another like $5 off or something, which was pretty great.
Yeah, Ebates is the best.
Yeah. So, anyway, the point is that on the drive, we were talking. I was asking you like what you've been thinking about, as you've been like just kind of like out of it for like a week. Like, what have you thought about during that time?
Yeah.
And you told me about all the lessons you've learned from, there's a really loud plane. We're pretty close to the airport. I'm gonna roll the windows up.
Okay.
Oh wait, how do I, okay. There we go. You were telling me about all the lessons you've learned from the Kardashians, and they were actually pretty good lessons, so I thought you could share them on the vlog today.
Yeah, so like, as I've been sick and I've just been like laying in bed or laying on the couch and watching a lot of Kardashians, because when you're sick, it's like you want to be up, but you can't be up. So like, you just do whatever.
So you live vicariously through the Kardashians?
Yeah, and I honestly, like, I've watched the show for like years. Like, I don't religiously watch it. We don't have TV, but like, I enjoy it for what it is. It's fluff. Whatever. But it's been really interesting too, because they're content creators ultimately. Like, they have this big business empire, and so a lot of the stuff that they talk about I find is really relevant to content creators in general. And since it's like not just about the family, it's about their businesses, like their businesses together, but their businesses separate. Like, I find that there's so much stuff that is helpful if you're able to like separate it, like just take it for what it is, you know? Because I know a lot of people just see it as being the Kardashians and totally write it off, but like they're smart business people and there's a lot of stuff in there that I think is helpful. So like one of the episodes that I thought was helpful was just like, I don't even remember what I said.
It was, you were saying it was about two of their business ventures, or sorry, two of the individual people on the show's business ventures.
Yeah.
And you felt like it related to you and I somehow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like, I mean, it doesn't really matter what it was about, but short version, Chloe's like, I'm going to do athleisure with Good American, her denim company. And Courtney was like, no, I want athleisure with you. So Courtney put that project on, or not Courtney, Chloe put that project on hold.
Yeah, I think you said Courtney for both people. So who has the line?
Chloe.
Okay.
Chloe has the line. And Courtney is like, I want to do that with you instead. So Chloe put it on hold with her company, even though everything was like lined up, ready to go. And started working on it with Courtney. And they just realized like they worked very differently and like prioritized things very differently. And so then ultimately like it was a great idea. They both meant well, but they came to the conclusion like this isn't going to work because the way we both prioritize and are doing things is so different that like it's just going to create issues. Like this isn't going to work. And so then Chloe just did her own thing, and like I think since then they have actually done the line themselves. I could be totally wrong, but it was just interesting because it shows that like people can have very different working styles and approach things very differently. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, like on projects for that reason. And just being understanding of that like sometimes people just approach stuff differently or their priorities are different, and it doesn't mean you can't work together, and it doesn't mean that things can't work out. It's just like being understanding of that, really. I think, because sometimes we approach things very differently or we have very different priorities with the same project. And so I think it's really important to just be understanding of that and like get that like what is important to you is not necessarily important to another person, or maybe it is, but for different reasons. And so really understanding that stuff and kind of talking that through like before you start a project, I think is really helpful. And then another one was like, I don't know, it was just an episode about Kim being like so insecure and crippled by like insecurity to even like leave her house because of paparazzi and mean comments and all this stuff. And I think as an influencer that's like super relevant because it is hard to not let it get to you. And Courtney was like, I just kind of live in my zone and like I don't pay attention to any of that stuff, which is such like a privileged place to be in. Like most of us don't have that privilege to be able to just like tune out everything.
Well, specifically what you had told me, like just to give a little bit more context of the like, god damn it,
you know, like Courtney's like, I just live in my bubble, like I don't read comments, I don't watch anything, I don't pay attention to the media. And as a content creator, I think that's difficult to do because it's so much a part of our jobs to want to see what other people are doing and like
get feedback from your audience, like pay attention to the comments and see what's going on, and you want to engage with people in the comments too.
Totally.
Like we don't have the luxury of ignoring every comment. Like maybe you read it and ignore what it says, but you still had to read it.
Totally.
As where it sounded like she was kind of talking about not reading them in the first place. Yeah,
she was totally talking about not reading them in the first place, which I understand. Like if you're at that point and you can do that, that probably is much healthier for you. And then Chloe's approach was like, you know, you just can't take it personally. Like whatever people are writing about in the media or whatever the comments are, like it's not about you. Like it might be about you in that moment, like they use your name, but it's nothing to do with you. It's interchangeable. It could be anyone else's name in there. They could be saying that same thing to anyone else.
I really liked that one because it reminds me of the book, The 4 Agreements, where one of the agreements is don't take anything personally, and that's exactly what they talk about, which is like nothing that anybody says is actually about you, even if it's a compliment.
Yeah.
And so to take it personally, like you are making it about you. And the other person might be trying to make it about you, but it's really not. It's really about them.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's about anything but you.
Yeah.
And so just how it's really important to keep that in mind, because it is so easy to let it get to you, and like it's so hard sometimes to not to like ignore that stuff and lock it out. But like, you know, it's like watching this episode where Kim's talking about being terrified to leave her house, and I was like, that sounds horrible. Like, that's not a way to live. And like, she has all these amazing opportunities and all these great things in her life, but like, what an expense, you know, to like be afraid to leave your house.
Do you feel like you deal with that sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, it gets hard. Like, there are times where I don't want to post because I'm like insecure about different things. Yeah, like it's like, oh, I don't like the way like my hairline looked in that video, and like, or like my teeth, or like just all these little things, like, oh, my makeup looks patchy, or like you can see texture on my face, you can see all these things, like, you know, you see your flaws and other people see them too, and it's literally like you're just waiting for someone else to point them out because you know it's coming. And so sometimes it's like it does get that way, you know, it's like you'd rather just not put yourself out there to that scrutiny.
So how do you think you're gonna deal with that going forward?
I think just trying to focus more, like I need to reread the 4 agreements or listen to it, but just like focusing more on that it's not personal, it's a reflection of that person and whatever they're going through and whatever they're dealing with. It's not a reflection of me, because like everyone has insecurities and no one's perfect, and like I don't think it's healthy to like try and represent content creators as being perfect either.
Right.
Like, we're flawed. Our skin isn't perfect. We have texture. We have zits.
My skin
like,
is perfect.
All these things. And I think it's just like, it's important to keep that in mind, that like, it's not about you. It's about them.
Yeah. I've been feeling really like sensitive about stuff too lately, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like that one, the comment that we got on the CoverGirl video where someone was like saying how I was being super rude to you and like how I came off as a complete asshole. Initially that made me feel really bad and really sensitive, because first of all, like, I don't want to treat you that way, but also I don't want other people to think that I treat you that way. And then that was kind of like how I had that, like how I dealt with that particular thing, was I was like, okay, what bothers me more? And I was like, well, it would bother me more if I feel like I'm treating Tashina that way. And in that scenario, like, obviously sometimes I'm an asshole, we all are. But like in that scenario, I really didn't feel like I was being an asshole. I know my intentions, and I know you knew my intentions. So like that didn't really bother me. So then it was like, the thing that got to me was I realized like that this person thought I was being an asshole. And then once I realized that was it, I was like, well, I don't fucking care what this person thinks at all. Like, I know my intentions in that moment, and I know you knew my intentions in that moment.
Yeah.
And I even asked you about it, and you were like, no, I didn't take it that way at all.
Yeah.
Once I realized that what I was actually bothered about was that person's opinion, then I was like, well, I don't fucking care, because A, I don't know you. B, even if I did know you, you don't have context for my life and our relationship. And C, even if you did, like, I know that I had good intentions, and like, people make mistakes, and that's okay.
Yeah. And also too, like, what is out there is like edited, like it's not necessarily a depiction of real life.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's kind of like that situation with applesauce on our skincare fridge video on the main channel. When we shot that, we had to keep reshooting the intro because applesauce was coming in and going all over Tashina, and Tashina would stop and pet applesauce, and then it would kind of turn into me just shooting video of Tashina petting applesauce. So like after the 3rd to 5th take, I was like, okay, you just have to ignore her so that we can do this video. And so that's what Tashina did. And then we got this comment where somebody said something like they felt rage. The word they used was rage. They felt rage because Tashina was ignoring applesauce. It's just such a funny thing. Like, of course, at some point in your life, like if you work from home you're going to have to ignore your pets or your kids or your loved ones so that you can focus on your work. Like, that's just part of working from home.
Yeah.
But like, the person who saw that one clip just saw Applesauce being adorable and really wanting Tashina's attention, and then Tashina ignoring her, so they don't have context for the whole life. So yeah, I mean, it's like you said, like, you see this one little clip and you think it's representative of somebody's entire life.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, you know, gets lost a lot, because I think with content creation, there's so much about wanting to represent yourself and your life a certain way, and so much of it is very curated and very manufactured, and a lot of it too, it's like, it just doesn't need to be represented online either. Like, I think it's really important for content creators to have things that they can keep private and that they can keep for themselves, and it's okay.
Like my...
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, like, for me, honestly, the more that we do this as a career, the more there are certain things that I really want kept private, because, like, you're putting so much of yourself out there. It's important to keep some of that for you, too.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, sometimes it kind of feels nice to just... I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth on this, because sometimes I feel like I want to share everything, but I also feel like the stuff that I don't want to share is stuff that, like, it's not really consequential in regard to content anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have no problem talking about, like, our relationship, but, like, maybe there's, like, a dish that we like to make together that, like, I don't want to share with people just because it's weird, but it just feels, I guess that's kind of what you're saying, like, it just feels nice to just sometimes take something and be like, no, this is just mine.
Yeah.
Or it's just ours. And it's special.
Yeah.
Even if it's something silly, like, I don't know. I can't say what it is. Not like we have a bunch of weird secret stuff.
No, it's just sometimes it's like totally mundane things, but, like, it's just nice sometimes to have that privacy. Or, like, there was one time I, like, placed a Sephora order and I didn't do a haul video, which is so abnormal.
What?
Yeah. And
Why
I
would
was
you
like,
do that?
Because I was like, I have not gone shopping and been able to just, like, shop like a consumer for so long that it felt so good to be like, oh, I ordered this stuff and, like, I don't have to, like, do things around. Maybe it wasn't Sephora.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like that would have made it an even more valuable video.
I don't know. But yeah, I was like, it just felt so different, and it felt really nice to be like, oh, this was just for me. Like, this was just mine.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Ryan and I talk about it sometimes. How sometimes it's really nice to order something and just literally not say anything about it online. Because then it's like, it's yours. You're shopping. You're ordering. Like, it's something about it is different.
Isn't the whole point that everybody wants to see the stuff that you are buying special for you, though? Like, isn't that the point?
But that's why sometimes it's nice to, like, not share everything. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but there's something about it where you're like, it just feels good to do something. You feel like it's more for you when you're not sharing it. If that's, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it's just something like, oh, this is just for me this time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You know what I think is really the key to our success?
What?
You didn't think we were really going to end the episode like that, did you?
I did.
Yeah.